Hey everyone, thanks for returning. If you're a return guest, this is Ask Your Angels on Wednesday, August the 10th, and I am here with Allison Price from Starzology.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming to our show today.
Thank you.
We're super excited to be here. We're glad you guys have been so patient, and if it's your first time, the idea of the show is to bring people together who are spiritually connected, to talk about things. So please, by all means, go on my website if you want at www.askyourangels.ca. Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in one of the upcoming shows. We certainly can do that for you. Just a reminder that we have a number there. If you'd like to call in for a free reading during the show, we'd love to do that for you. And I thought we'd start out by talking about a little bit about numerology. My birthday's coming up. It's 12/12/12.
Very interesting.
And I'm wondering, if that's significant.
Well,
What do you think?
I think it has to be. I understand you have to add the numbers.
Add the numbers together?
Yeah.
So, like 12, 1 and 2, 3.
I think you go 36 and then...
3, 3, wouldn't it be 9?
Uh-huh.
9. Okay, so maybe 9 is significant. I don't know. But one of the dates that's really on everyone's mind is obviously 12/21/12, and that is the end of the Mayan calendar. So I'm going to put something out there, and then I'm going to ask Allison, what you think of that. One of the things I believe is that we can control our future. One sec, I'm just going to ask our tech guy to turn the music down just a little bit. That's for you, Jeff, if you're watching. Anyway, we're going to, I wanted to put out there that we do have some control over our lives. The more positive you can be, the more great things will come to you. I guarantee this because I've seen it work for myself. It's how I live my life. In regards to 12/21/12, if you think about it, all those doomsday believers that have envisioned what's going to happen at the end of the Mayan calendar are putting this negative energy out there. And yes, they could make something tragic happen just by all that negative energy. But overall, we're coming into a spiritual age. I really do believe that. And I think that there's so many more positive thinkers out there, and we're going to be just fine. So what do you think, Allison?
Yes, it's a very interesting date, December 21st, 2012. It's actually the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere. So it's falling on a date that we would note anyway in our calendars astrologically. But the Mayan calendar itself has been running for over 3,000 years. It started in BC, and the 2000 now, it's over the 5,000 day mark, and it's the way they count their calendars.
You think they're just tired? No, I'm just tired of writing this darn calendar and I'm done.
I don't think so. It's just the way they do their counting. It's like when we get to the end of December the 31st this year, what do? We go out and we get another calendar and start it again. So what is happening is that the Mayan long count is coming to its logical end. It's the way they count their numbers over 5 separate digits, counting up in 20s. So, which is called in not decimal, they're vigesimal numbers, which actually sounds like a vegetable tonic. But anyway.
So do you think we shouldn't need to worry then? It's the end of the world, as they're saying.
I don't think so. I think they are the naysayers.
Hang on, I guess we'll have to continue that because looks like we have a caller. Hi, Ask Your Angels. How are you today?
Not too bad. This is Franco calling.
Oh, hey Franco.
Hi,
how are
Franco.
you?
Not too bad. Hello there.
Hi. Do you have some insight for us on 12/21/12?
I do.
And can you tell our viewers what exactly you do?
Me? Well, what do? I do many things. I am I'm an astrologer. I'm a numerologist, tarot reader, rune reader. I can read your dinner plate.
My dinner plate?
I'm also a practicing. Oh, sorry. Let me turn that down. There we go. I'm also watching your show and getting feedback. So, no, I'm also a Wiccan priest as well. So.
Oh, wow. A Wiccan priest. So there's some misconception about Wiccan priests, is there not?
In Wicca, in general, yes. From you, people who follow the monotheistic path, or people who believe in one God and only one God, they tend to have a lot of misconceptions about what people who follow polytheism do.
Okay. So tell us, what's the significance, if any, of 12-21-12?
Well, 12-21-12. See, the thing is, if you break it down that way, this same pattern will, I guess it's next year, will have occurred 99 years ago, and 199 years ago, and 199 years ago. The thing is, when you're looking at a numerological year, you have to look at the month and reduce the month down to a single digit.
So 3?
And you have to take the day and reduce that to a single digit. So 12 becomes 3, 21 becomes a 3, and 2012 actually becomes a 5. You don't just look at the 12. You have to look at it as the full number.
Oh, okay.
So a 12-21-2012 actually reduces down to a day of which adds up to 11. Now 11 is one of what we call master numbers. And master numbers are numbers like 11, 22, 33.
And you can't add those together, is that correct?
Well, you can.
Oh,
you do,
can?
actually. Usually when it appears in a person's birth date, if a person is an 11, they become an 11, which is a master number. But not everyone can carry the responsibility and pressure and intensity of that number. So then you add the two numbers together and they become a 2. Not to say that a 2 is an inferior number, but 2 is a more base number, a more regular number that falls on the level of the numbers of 1 through 9. But 11s, 22s, 33s are master numbers, and they're special numbers.
So what would that...
an 11 is a number of master illumination. So it's a number of great understanding.
Okay, so in Allison's case, whose birthday it happens to be tomorrow, which is the 11th, would she hold that master number then?
Yes, Allison would have. So what you would do, Allison, what's your birthday?
He's going to ask you the year, you know that, right?
Well, as an astrologer and numerologist, you have to.
Well, she
Maybe
doesn't
you
need
can
to work it out
up
loud.
for us. How's that?
Pardon?
I think he's saying give him the total.
Oh, the total's 7.
7. But you can't add the 11 together. Is that right?
Oh, so you have 8, 11, and then the year is 7?
No, the year is 15.
Okay, so hang on,
That's a
Allison.
lot
So
of
you're a
numbers,
total of a 7. Okay, so you are a 7-11.
Well, how convenient.
There you go.
Oh, that's good. How convenient.
So, for instance,
Oh, that's so bad.
in Allison's case, as a 7, this is the number of, in her case, the high priestess. It is the number of the researcher. It is someone who is devoted to studying things, learning about things. You will be the teacher,
Yes, I do teach.
the person who helps people through things. It's the number of the priestess, the researcher, and sometimes you can probably be a bit of a loner.
Mm-hmm.
Like you like to do things on your own. But what the
Probably, yeah.
11 does,
Yeah.
adding to that 7 strength, is it brings you into the foresight, and it's, without a doubt, you're going to be an astrologer or of some type of healing person.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
what the 11 and 7 do. Now the 11, when even with this configuration, even with the 11, if it were to reduce down to a 2, the 2 is a number of compassion and understanding,
Okay.
so that the number 2 and the 7 work together in that. No wonder you're a counselor. No wonder you're an astrologer counselor, because you can help people through issues, and that's what the energy around her numbers brings to the table.
Well, that is spot on. It really is how it is. I am a bit of a loner, but I do teach. I do.
I had numerology done for me the other day, and I'm a 6. But he worked out the chart, and it said that I live off my emotions, and that was pretty bang on too. I was pretty impressed. One of the things that he did tell me, Max, if you're watching, it was just awesome. Max also does numerology, and today he quoted something like, "When you know your abilities, you have more abilities," or something like that. But it's very true. So with numerology, does it not, Franco, give you a sense of what your abilities are? Franco?
Yes, it does express what your talents and abilities are,
Yeah, latent
and
talents, perhaps.
it gives you an overall picture of what you're like. Now, the birthday numbers that we've been playing with here tell you your overall skills and your general life path. So when you add up the month, the day, and the year, it deals with your life path. And the birthday number, so in Allison's case, being born on an 11, that is, what do you call it, an enhancer to the life path. When we get into the numbers of your name, and that's your full birth name as it appears on the birth record, what that does is that gives you more about your personality and your inner urge and your inner drives, as well as your personality traits that come out of it. And there's also numbers that combine both the name side and the year side in numerology.
How interesting.
That's what was done for me. It was he took my complete name and I think the date and time and everything and worked it all out. It's fascinating. You know, I want to go back to what you feel is relevant, if anything, with the Mayan calendar being 12/21/2012. But before I do that, Franco, I was wondering, is there any chance you would join us for next week's show? Because I think people would like to hear more about this. And some of the other things that you do.
Sure, I could be on it.
Sound good? All right, so we're going to have Franco next week. Yay!
Yay!
And so what do you feel, is 2/21/2012 significant in any way? Should we be worried? I'm personally
yeah,
not.
a lot of people are worried about that. The one thing about it is you got to remember that the Mayans were creating calendars and working through their religious system until they were basically like the Mayan priests were probably slaughtered in the conquest of the southern hemisphere by Europeans.
Yes.
And so any priest and any scribe in those days were probably executed and tortured and killed in the name of the modern religion. And so they were not allowed to complete the table.
Well, it's interesting because that period happened, what was it, 400 and something years ago, when the Mayan calendar's last number changed from an 11 to a 12. And what's happening in December next year is that number's choking up from the 12 to a 13. So it's one of those periods within their calendar when these crises occurred for them.
Wow. That's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I need more.
So then, here's the other thing too. I listened to a talk by, and I forget the gentleman's name. He's a Mayan descendant.
Yes.
And what he was saying, actually, the Mayan calendar ends sometime in October.
Wow.
And not at the solstice. And what he was showing was that there was a build-up to a period where time seems to be speeding up. and what's coming after that period is basically a new era of October. I can't remember the exact date. I'm going to have to see the lecture, and I forget the gentleman's name. It was
This isn't
given
the
to
same.
me, and I apologize for this, but
This is
it was a very
nice.
fascinating talk, and he was showing how the old Genesis 7 days, and what was it, 7 nights and 6 days, or 6 days and 7 nights? No, right, 6 nights, and on the 7th day there was rest. And he showed the correlation in that and being like the days and nights being periods of like millennia.
Oh, yeah.
And then the millennia would get cut to form kind of like a pyramid, so that to the point where we're getting to the top of the pyramid where it's only going to be less than a year to be the top of it, and that comes up to the culmination at October 2012. And then from there, there was supposed to be a new calendar generated, and I'm not sure what happened there. So,
Well, isn't this?
what happened?
There's a
Wasn't
guy out
around
there
anymore.
saying October's the end of the world, isn't there? Is that? Are they related at all?
No, you're referring to that Californian dude
Yeah.
who predicted the end of the world in May, and then
Yeah, that turned out well
escalated.
for him.
Yeah. No comment.
Okay. Well, you know what, Franco, thanks so much for calling in. This was very informative, and we are so looking forward to you coming back next week.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Okay, sounds great.
Sounds great. Nice talking to you, Franco.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Christine, I'd just like to show you, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick this up. This,
Maybe
maybe.
a little closer. Can we see
Okay.
that okay?
Basically, this is an app, okay, for iPhone.
Oh.
And it calculates the Mayan dates for you.
Okay.
So after everybody just had a look, I can just show you how it works. Okay. Along the okay. Don't touch.
Like your is
Don't
it
touch the
poinsettia?
screen. The idea is that the 5 numbers along the top here are the actual Mayan numbers, and they count up from 20 from the left, which is the days.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna
Take the
take this call. Or not. Okay. If you can hold off on the calls. Okay, well.
Good chance, dear.
Hi, Christine. It's Ask Your Angels.
Hi, I'm calling for Christine.
This is Christine.
Hi, Chris. It's Doug.
Oh, hi, Doug. Are you calling in for reading?
Well, I'm not sure reading. I just had a kind of a question with respect to angels because last week I was struck by a car, and it was very vivid to me of being on the hood, watching the windshield shatter, and a friend of mine was saying that it was most likely an angel that lifted and carried me over the car. So I have some kind of questions with respect to that, because realistically I should have been killed, and I'm living and breathing, so I'm kind of, a little taken aback by it all, and not understanding exactly if that was the case, that some angel was looking out for me, or whether it's just one of those things and I got lucky.
No. I really do believe there was an angel with you at that time, for sure, that was protecting you. Obviously, Doug, there's things here that you still have to do in this life that you need to accomplish, and it wasn't your time. And I do believe you were protected. I mean, if they're saying that you should be dead, like, what was the prognosis? What did they say at the hospital?
I just had scrapes, bruises, nothing broken. I'm suffering injuries, of course, after the fact with other parts of my body, but nothing that's going to put me off out of commission or kill me or anything like that. But I had a 1% survival chance
Do you think this is
based
guardian
on
angel?
my age and speed of impact. So to live through something with a 1% survival rate straight is it's pretty hard to comprehend and just understand.
Yeah, you're probably going through a feeling right now that you actually, in a way, had died.
Well, my son and my wife saw me there at the other side of the road, and they actually said
You
I
did
wasn't
have a
breathing.
guardian angel with you, Doug. You know what? I'm going to pull a card for you. And basically, this is going to be a guardian angel that's with you right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just give me a sec. Okay, what I'm pulling is Chantal. Just give me 1 second. There we go. It says, new romance is imminent either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love. What I'm feeling from this is that this situation has altered your existence right now. Your relationship that you have right now is probably deepened because of this. And what I'm feeling is that in a way this could have happened because you needed that connection. Like, you know, let me read this to you so hopefully it'll make more sense. You've been hungering for more romance and passion, and your prayers answered. I am a romance angel and I'm here to help you. New love is on its way to you, and you can open the door to this romance by opening your heart. The more that you welcome new love with open arms, the more romance will come your way. This also means that you must express yourself romantically toward your partner. Be candid about your feelings and intentions. Be playful like we angels are, and most of all, be openly loving with your partner as a way of encouraging the flow of romance to return to you. I will give you guidance along the way, and it may involve actions that seem unrelated to romantic love. Yet you will know it is me who encourages you to join a gym, enroll in an evening class, or meet a new friend, for example. My trademark characteristic is that I create a very strong feeling in your heart, and then I surround it with warmth like I'm giving you a big hug. The more that you follow my guidance, the faster the romance will be delivered to you. So basically what I'm feeling from this, Doug, is that your unfinished business was surrounding the family, and that it was too soon for you to go because there were things that were left not the way they should be. Does this make sense?
No, actually, not at all.
Not at all? Okay, because what I'm getting is that you were protected because of your family. Because your family needed to be united even closer. That's what's coming through to me.
Well, I guess there's some truth to that. I mean, somewhat, but not in the way that you kind of described it. But I guess indirectly there is some truth to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, I know that both my kids depend on me a great deal, and for guidance, and that's where I'm bringing it to. You know, like without the dad, I think they would struggle more in a lot of respects.
So you feel that you were protected for the sake of your kids?
Yeah.
Okay. And has the experience brought your family even closer together? You haven't seen any kind of difference? Nothing, not a shift, nothing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the way they came together to look after me, of course, was phenomenal. I mean, when it happened, my son was on it in a heartbeat, and he actually thought somebody was hurting his mom and came running outside to find me lying virtually lifeless on the ground.
What do you mind me asking, Doug? What was going through your mind as you flipped over the car?
I don't remember the impact. I just remember my mind saying, "Oh, you're on top of a hood of a car, and oh, there's a windshield shattering," and feeling myself flying off the side of the, like going up the side of the car, and then.
Did it feel movie-like? Did it almost feel like you were watching a movie?
It almost looked like it was. Yeah, it was almost as if I was experiencing, but I wasn't experiencing it.
Okay, because I went through something similar to that years ago. I was in early 20s, and we almost went off the cliff in a car. And to this day, I swear, I actually went over that cliff. I remember looking up from the bottom of the cliff to the side of the road, and it was one of those hills up in Collingwood, you know, with the little, they have the little wood pieces that would never stop a car. And it was winter, and we hit black ice, and I thought it was over. I really did. For 2 weeks, I walked around feeling like, why am I here? I was meant to die in that. This just doesn't make sense, and it was just very strange. But I firmly believe that I was carried. I believe it happened, and we went over, and we were carried back up. But it played out like a movie. It played out like you knew it was happening, and you went into shock, but it was like watching. There was a little bit of a detachment from it, and I know from my experience that was a guardian angel. I know it. There was even a light, like I know it was. So I firmly believe that you were protected by your guardian angel for sure.
Well, something was protecting me, that's for sure, because, I mean, when you look at everything, I shouldn't have walked away from it as I have. And I mean, I'm hurting in a lot of ways, pain-wise from physical sense, but my mind says, well, if that's all you got to put up with, I'm still here to be with my family, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you must be a pretty special guy to have someone watching over you like that.
I suppose that's kind of hard to accept and think of, but, you know, how do you...
Maybe that's the new love that's coming into your life. Maybe it's time to accept that.
Yeah, maybe.
That you're not alone, and you probably wondered about it before. Now they're saying, look, I'm really here, and I'm helping you, and I'm protecting you. And you've got important things to do here, and it's not your time.
Yeah, I've definitely wondered about it before. I've talked to some really close friends about it, and I guess you're probably right in that respect. I most certainly shouldn't be here after what happened.
So how's it changed your life, though, Doug? Like, are you going to do anything differently because of it? Are you looking at life differently?
I haven't gotten to that part yet. My mind's saying I've probably been given a second chance, and I should probably stop some of the things that I do that I shouldn't. Like, that's not good for you, but I haven't in my mind gotten to that point where I start
quitting smoking.
Yeah, I do smoke, and I guess that's something I should quit. But I just haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm still trying to take everything in. Deal with the emotional side of what's happened, and when I came to hear my kids screaming.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what it'd be like to go through that. I think one thing though, knowing that you've been given a gift like this, I think it's like any gift that you're given, Doug. If someone gives you a gift, then the best thing you can do with your life is give the gift back. Give it to someone else. I think you have a higher purpose than what you know, and you'll figure it out. But you're meant to give something back to humanity, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome.
And thanks for taking my call.
Take it easy, and I hope you have a fast recovery, and I'm sure we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Allison now. If you can maybe just hold off on the calls just for a sec. I just want to see what this fascinating thing is she's holding here.
This is a Mayan calendar, the modern way of doing it. These 5 numbers along the top are the actual countdown. This is the days. They have different names for them: Kin, Wayan, Tun, Ketan and Baktun. And the idea is when we get to 21st December 2012, this 12 is going to roll over to a 13. But
Is that how they came up with?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But I understand that there is some questions with the scholars whether it should 0 after 12 and not actually take the 13, and that's where they're coming with the 5 zeros. So there is 2 schools of thought on whether it should go to 13 and keep counting.
Oh, and the 5 zeros
Indeed.
represents the end of the world, maybe?
Well, it's the end of that cycle in the Mayan calendar. Yes, this is what we're talking about. And when we were talking to Franco a moment ago about the 400 years ago with the European invasion, that was when this 11 turned into the 12.
And we're still here.
And we're still here. So if you go look at, this is today's iconograph, apparently they call these. If you go to tomorrow's, the calendar clocks up one more day and you get the different icon. So it's a modern way of keeping up with an old-fashioned calendar. But
So when this number ends, this little guy is going to say boo.
Well, probably, or you'll just, yeah.
Gotcha!
But that is a modern way of keeping up with the Mayan calendar today to inform yourself of how it actually is working.
Now this app, can anybody get this
Yes,
app?
yes, you get it from,
One of your phone people?
yeah,
Okay.
whoever they are.
Okay,
There's an
wow.
app, yeah, there's an app for that. So that's really how the Mayan calendar is working. And those little pictures are the symbols that they carved into the stones on the stela, like they have in Mexico, expressing the date. And the reason we know so much about the Maya is because they did carve in stone. So they would have the 5 numbers vertically up the pillar announcing a date from an important event or whatever it was. And an example of this for today, again we're going to test your computer camera abilities.
Well, I'm not sure. I can't see over there anymore. There it is.
This is an example of how the stela would have been. The top picture is the big number. That's your 12.
Now, how would someone have interpreted this? Like, I look at this, I would never know these represent numbers. Any idea how that came
I
about?
suppose they just worked it out. I'm not exactly sure. And the four rows below with the different symbols are the other 4 numbers in the 5 sequence I just showed you. So these are the symbols that get carved on the stones with how they did it. This is actually a printout of my birthday, of the date, the way the Mayans used to do it, and that hangs on my wall in my office.
And does that have any specific meaning for your birthday, other than happy birthday?
It's the date.
Oh, okay.
You see the 12, 16, 15,
I see.
44.
Okay.
Which is interesting because they're carved in pictures, but they do mean something.
Did I tell you my birthday's 12/12/12? My husband's birthday is 12/12/12. Now that's got to be significant, don't you think?
Absolutely.
That must mean something.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But if we're going to look at the date of 21st of December 2012 from an astrological point of view, you would cast an astrology chart for the date.
Okay, let's see if we can
This is an example.
we see that a little better.
I think so, there we go. That's really what it's going to be looking like. And this is the actual astrology chart calculated for the date, 21st of December 2012.
Now they say, now you do astrology.
I do.
Do you do astronomy as well?
No.
Okay,
Just
so
astrology.
do you have, so you don't really have any theory on the planets being aligned? They're saying
They're
the
not
planets,
aligned.
they're not going to be
No,
aligned?
They're not aligned. If you actually look at the image, you can see, there's my camera, that the planets are spread around the chart, as they would normally be.
Let's try this again. Just
There's an example. Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
look at that. Now you don't have to look at us. That's better. You don't want us to take that away, do you see? There you
There
go.
you go. So you can see straight away by looking at the chart that all of these symbols are for the planets, and they're just spread around the chart. That nothing's lining up.
Okay.
The actual and the astrology is just, this is a snapshot for that day when the sun gets to the 0 Capricorn on the 21st of December 2012, and of course it moves on. This is just a snapshot one day in the life of our solar system.
And does this mean anything to you? Like when you look at it, does it have any meaning at all?
If you wanted to read the chart for this date, there are certain patterns and colours in the middle, I think you perhaps can see. I'm going to get the hang of this. So what we have here, particularly on this day, there's an astrological major aspect pattern called a Yod, which is the green part, between Saturn, Pluto and Jupiter as the focal planet. But Yods happen all the time, not just on this day, they continue on, and we will have them in our own birth charts. They are patterns made by the planets, but they show up pictorially in a birth chart. And this is what the astrology uses.
Oh, to determine what your
Yes,
star sign
indeed,
is?
Indeed. This will be a horoscope for somebody born at that time.
Oh,
So not
wow.
only do you do horoscopes for people, you can do them for events in the future as well.
Okay. Well, if we're looking at that, I don't know if I mentioned my birthday is 12/12. So it's December, and supposedly I'm a Sagittarius.